Welcome to Retiring Well, where it's our job to help you enjoy financial security in any economy. Well, we've got a terrific show lined up for you this week. We're going to be talking about mortgages. Interest rates are changing. What do you need to know? What do you need to do? Before we jump into that topic, as we do every week, let's introduce you to the real stars of the show, the retirement planning specialists who work with people just like you each and every day.
Hi, I'm Rob Russell.
And I'm Curve Miller.
And we're from Russell & Company,
Southwest Ohio's total wealth management firm,
helping you rescue your retirement from bad advice.
Retiring well, providing financial security in any economy. Today is the day you can take control of your financial future and eliminate worry about your money forever. Retiring well, featuring retirement planning specialists Robert Russell and Curvin Miller of Russell & Company in Dayton, Ohio.
This weekend, talking about interest rates and mortgages. You know, this is a really big topic. Maybe you're looking to buy a new home. Maybe you have a home, you have a mortgage on your home. Mortgage rates, where the rates are, you always want to keep that in mind, because no matter where you are in the spectrum of home buying, home shopping, or home ownership, the rates that are in place play a real important role with your financial planning. And you know, this article comes from the Motley Fool, and they're talking about something that happened a few weeks back in July. They called it Friday's catastrophic surge in mortgage rates. What are they talking about here? Well, they say, I just want to read a little bit of this for you. It says, if you're thinking about buying a home, then you're probably not going to like what I'm about to say. On Friday, while you're busy nursing yourself back to life following the 4th of July celebrations, mortgage rates exploded. And what they said here is, according to estimates, the rate on a 30-year conventional mortgage, the 30-year fixed rate mortgage, you're all familiar with it, it jumped into 4.75% territory. It went up about 1% here in a day. 1% in a day. Well, what's going on here? What's happening is a few different things are moving together, and it's putting pressure, upward pressure on mortgage rates. We have, number one, the Fed's out there with their, they're doing this bond buying. Every month they're buying $85 billion they're putting $85 billion of fresh money into the market. That's keeping interest rates down. Well, they said, hey, we're going to start tapering that off in 2014, maybe as late as the fall of 2013. Well, that's freaking people out a little bit, and they're not, in the bond markets, and it's making interest rates go up a little bit. On top of that, the job market's actually coming back pretty well. At least the reports are that the job market's coming back. And so what's happening is all the investors out there, they're saying, holy cow, if the job market's coming back, maybe the economy's coming back, the Fed's going to stop their bond buying for sure, closer to fall versus 2014. And, they're all saying, this is ending, so interest rates are going up. And the banks are saying, yep, we know they're going up. We better start charging more on mortgages. So what does this mean? If you're buying a home, stop messing around, hurry up and get one. Go ahead and lock in those rates as quick as you can. They're as low as they're ever going to be. They may not be this low, below 5% on 30-year mortgages. They may not be that low again for some time. If you own a home, you have a mortgage, and you've been looking at maybe refinancing to a lower rate, you just haven't done it yet, make sure, take advantage, check with the lenders now, get it done while you can. If you can get a loan 30 years at less than 5%, hey, that's a win in anybody's book any day. So again, if you're new, looking to buy a house, get those rates locked in, find that house, get moving. If you already have a home and you were considering refinancing, take a hard look now. This might be your last best opportunity to do so. So it's important that you know what's going on with mortgage rates at all times. Now, it also affects your retirement planning. What I want to do now is I want to bring in The real star of the show, your retirement planning specialist, they're going to talk about smart moves to make with mortgages as you're nearing retirement, once you're in retirement, and they're also going to touch on reverse mortgages. When are they appropriate and when are they not appropriate? So this is going to be really important information. Take a look.
And now featuring Southwest Ohio's retirement planning specialists, Rob Russell and Kervin Miller.
Thanks, Mike. Reverse mortgages, there's a lot of misinformation about them. But really, reverse mortgages can be appropriate if you have a lot of equity in your home and you don't have a lot of income. Sometimes people say, gosh, should I take a second mortgage or a home equity line of credit on my house? Well, see, you have to qualify from an income perspective to do that. So sometimes if you're house rich and income poor, it may make sense, and you got to be 62 years old to do it. But really, I think it's a last resort.
Oh, I agree, Curve. It's got to be the last resort when you've gone through all your other assets, and now you need to tap one of the biggest assets you have, and that's the equity in your home. And you're right. You have to meet a certain age, and if you took a home equity line of credit, you do have to have income to do that. And reverse mortgage, you don't, because the reverse mortgage provides you income. So what about when it's wrong? I mean, where do you see maybe, Curve, some mistakes on when people are told to take a reverse mortgage or maybe coerced into taking a reverse mortgage?
Sure. I've seen cases where financial advisors say, look, you should take a reverse mortgage on your home and take the money you get from that and put it into this investment. If you hear anything like that, you need to run the other way and then call somebody about that person. It's bad advice.
Yeah, and we've also seen cases where people have been not just a reverse mortgage, but actually taking a home equity line of credit out and then funding a life insurance strategy or some annuity strategy. Terrible advice, absolutely terrible advice. And the SEC and the different regulators have sent many warnings to consumers, warning them that this is bad advice. But maybe on a different note, I think the theme we're seeing in the interest rate environment should cause you to consider a couple different things. One, like Mike mentioned, maybe you should be refinancing your home, or maybe you're thinking about buying a new home. Well, interest rates are still super low. Yeah, they've popped up a little bit, but they're historically low. Mm-hmm. So it's a good time to refinance and potentially buy a new home. Also, what it really means for your investment portfolio is bonds can be demolished by higher interest rates. Yes. And when interest rates rise, bond prices fall, and that's what we've started to see over the last couple months. So you want to steer clear of bond funds and individual bonds that are government, that are treasuries, municipal bonds, and especially mid to long-term maturities. Those are the bonds that are going to get absolutely crushed as interest rates move higher.
Absolutely. The longer term the bonds are, the more volatile they're going to be in a rising interest rate environment. So, for the last 30 years, interest rates have ticked down. Yeah, we're seeing them kind of prop up short term because there's all this fear about Bernanke and tapering and all that kind of stuff if they stop this $85 billion a month of bond buying. So make sure you understand that fixed income and things like that are going to have a dramatic impact. The prices will be impacted by movements in interest rates. So always best, make sure you have your portfolio stress tested by somebody who knows your situation. You can give the number at the bottom of the screen a call. We'd love to sit down with you, maybe if you don't know how much bonds you have in your portfolio. So thanks, Mike, and we'll be looking forward to our question of the week.
Once again, terrific advice from a retirement planning specialist. And again, just a reminder, if you have questions about your circumstances, whether it's income planning, tax planning, what have you, anything to do with your retirement planning, call the number on the screen. It'll give you an opportunity to talk to your retirement planning specialist, sit down with them if appropriate. Don't miss out on that opportunity. All right, it's time for our trivia question of the week. This week's trivia question comes to us courtesy of Medicare.gov, and here it is. According to a U.S. Department of Health and Human Services study, they say that this percentage of people who reach age 65 will enter a nursing home. Is the percentage 30%, 40%, 50%, or 60%? Stay tuned. We'll share the answer at the end of the show.
Hi, I'm Rob Russell, president of Russell & Company Total Wealth Management. And listen, you've seen me on CNBC, around the country, Fox Business, and of course, here every Sunday on your local Fox station, Fox 45, 10 a.m., for our program, Retiring Well. Well, listen, you do not want to miss one of my upcoming exclusive events. And I'm going to be covering all kinds of great ideas and strategies to put you back in the black, back in the driver's seat when it comes to your retirement. Things like how to pay the least amount in taxes, taking advantage of the tax laws for the informed. How to create an income stream in retirement that isn't a maybe, but a definitely, that you can't run out of money. And also, how to protect and create wealth in good and sour markets. You don't want to miss this event, and we'd like you to please RSVP. Give the number on the screen a call or visit our website at totalwealthadvice.com. See you there.
Welcome back. It's time for our question of the week.
This week's question comes from Hannah from DeWitt, Michigan. Are reverse mortgages legitimate tools, or are they just a ripoff? I'm getting conflicting information.
Hannah, that's a great question. And a lot of people are confused about reverse mortgages and trying to decipher what's fact versus what's fiction. There's so much misinformation out there. And so, again, our program is to help you uncover the truth behind all these different financial tools. Understand that there's so many different investment strategies and financial strategies and income strategies. It's kind of like having a Swiss Army knife with all those different blades in there. And the reverse mortgage is kind of the saw. And the only one to use that when you're stuck deep in the woods and you need to start a fire. So reverse mortgages are not for everybody. In fact, it's only for very, very select people that really need to take income from their last asset, and that would be their home.
Absolutely. It's more of a survival tool. I love that analogy, Rob, this Swiss Army knife. But it is a survival tool. You know, think about it. If you have all of the equity in your home and you don't have enough income to go get the basic necessities of life, you can't go grocery shopping, you can't get your milk, your bread. I mean, you can't break off a corner of your house and eat it. You know, you actually need to create an income stream for your peace of mind, for survival, for your quality of life. That's when a reverse mortgage makes sense. And of course, there's rules. As we talked about in the last segment, you got to be 62 years old. There's got to be equity in the home. You know, some of the challenges with reverse mortgages can be when it passes on to a beneficiary, when the house passes on. Because as you're taking equity out and using it as income, when that house passes, when you pass away, the family's on the hook for what is owed to the bank. So potentially there's some equity, but they might have to pay that back. So there's lots of ins and outs, but bottom line, make sure it's used for the right reasons. You know, a lot of times we've seen people who use reverse mortgages for not so good reasons, such as funding investments or doing things that you shouldn't do. That's really bad advice. But more if it's to create quality of life, then I think it's a good tool.
Yeah, I think the overriding theme, though, is do you have other sources that you could generate income from? Are there investment accounts? Is there money at the bank, lazy money, not earning anything? And that's what we do for folks, is help them craft a customized, structured income plan that they can't outlive. And that's key when you're entering retirement and creating your own personal pension.
Do you want your question answered on Retiring Well? Send us an email to question@retiringwell.tv.
Welcome to this week's Chalk Talk, where we're going to spend a few minutes talking about beneficiary arrangements. This is going to hold true whether it's for your IRA, for your life insurance, for your wills or trusts. You know, anytime you want to leave money, you want to make sure that you have in your mind a good understanding of how you want to lay out the beneficiaries. So what I have here for our little examples, let's pretend that we have Dad here. So here we have Dad, and Dad has money in a retirement plan, an IRA. And who, of course, do you think his primary beneficiary is? Well, of course, it's going to be Mom. I'm going to put a primary. right? Primary beneficiary is mom. What does that mean? If dad dies and mom's still alive, mom gets all the money. Okay, so that means primary beneficiary. But what if mom dies before dad? Or what if they die at the same time? Then what do you need? Well, then you need what are called secondary or contingent beneficiaries. In our little example here, mom and dad have 3 children, child 1, 2, and 3. So what dad's going to do is he's going to name a second line, and they're going to be contingent, a second line of beneficiaries. So just in case mom dies before he does, or they die at the same time, we've got the second line of beneficiaries, the 3 children. So maybe a third is how it goes. But here's the deal. Mom and dad, in our little example, they're like a lot of folks out there because some of their children have children themselves. GC, it stands for grandchildren. So child number 1 here has 3 children or 3 grandchildren. Child number 2, no children at all. Child number 3, 2 grandchildren. Well, now we have to start asking questions like this. Let's assume that mom dies before dad. So now we just have dad. He dies, the money's supposed to go to the 3 children. Well, what if, let's pick this one. What if this one right here happens to die before dad does? Then what happens? Well, if you do it wrong, if you set up your beneficiaries wrong, what will happen is these 2 grandchildren will be disinherited. If you do it improperly, your beneficiary arrangements, what will happen is all the money will then go to child 1 and child 2. This whole line will be cut right off. Yet that's not what most people want. Most people would say, we want this child share to go to their 2 children right here, grandchild, I guess 4 and 5 in our example. So how do you fix it? Use the language per stirpes. That's the language you want to use on your beneficiary arrangements. It'll fix the problem for you.
Hi, this is Curve Miller, co-host of Retiring Well, seen here on Sundays right after Fox News on Fox 45, as well as heard on Retirement Rescue Radio on Saturdays at 1 o'clock on WHIO. Now, we've received such positive feedback about our live events, I've decided to add a couple special dates just for you. You do not want to miss this live event where you'll uncover what millions of Americans are doing right now to protect and preserve their hard-earned assets. Other topics I plan to discuss, first of all, is how you can tell if hidden fees are eating up a big chunk of your money, how you can safeguard your assets from unnecessary taxation and inflation, how you can tell if your current advisor is giving you expert advice in your retirement, and why stress testing your portfolio may be the most important financial decision of your lifetime. You do not want to miss this live event. I look forward to seeing you. Give the number on the bottom of the screen a call, and I'll see you there.
Now it's time for our story of the week, and I got one to share with you. It's a whopper and something you may identify with. A couple that I met, Bob and Judy, recently, and Bob and Judy saved up a good amount of money in their retirement accounts, and in their 401ks alone, they had $500,000, and that's what they earmarked for income to create their own pension in retirement. They just had Social Security. They didn't have a pension from the government or from their employer, so they had to create their own pension. The rest of their money was set aside to grow and to pass on to their family, but it was the $500,000 that was the sacred money, what we call the golden goose money. And the golden goose money is the golden goose lays the golden eggs, and we wanted to protect that. They went to their broker at the big wirehouse, and the broker told them you could take out about $15,000 a year off of your $500,000. That's about a 3% cash flow in retirement. And they came to us. They came to Russell and Company because they found out that we specialize in creating income plans for people in or near retirement, and money that you cannot outlive. And what we were able to do for Bob and Judy was get them far more than $15,000 a year. With our planning, we call it SIPS, which stands for Structured Income Planning. So we were able to create 5 to 6% cash flow in a 0% interest rate market. And in their case, instead of $15,000 a year, we were able to create $29,000 a year, almost double than what their broker told them. And more importantly, it's money that they can't outlive because it's their own personal pension. It's pretty cool.
And you know what, the most important thing you said here is it's their personal pension, but it's guaranteed. You know, it's not maybe income, it's guaranteed income. Actually taking time to put some kind of guarantee behind this cash flow. You know, they sacrificed all these years saving inside that 401k. Their intention was strictly to take income from that account, like they said.
Absolutely.
And so they created their own pension fund, if you will. They didn't have a pension through their employer. They actually had to save their pension. So actually being able to earmark those assets, take a guaranteed income stream that they can't outlive, that's pretty cool.
I think so too, and that certainly made Bob and Judy happy as well. You know, so many people are addicted. They're addicted to hopium. They hope they don't run out of money in retirement, and I'd rather take their hope and create a plan mathematically that you cannot live by using guaranteed accounts that we ladder and create income for the rest of your lives. As long as you live, you're going to have that own personal pension, and I think that's really important in this environment where, you know, according to a recent study, that 94% of pensions in the S&P 500, so S&P 500 companies that offer pensions, 94% of them are underfunded. Social Security, to their own admission, is in trouble. Government pensions are underfunded as well from many sources, including USA Today. So what we want to do is help people here in our area create not a maybe plan, but a certain plan, a stable income plan that you can't outlive. And I think that's key when pensions are the new dinosaur.
Absolutely. That is the number one question we get. Do we have enough money to make it through retirement? That is the number one question. And it's the one everybody's focused on as far as income planning is concerned. If that's a question you have, give the number on the bottom of the screen a call. We'd love to sit down with you and see if we can help.
Wow, every single week we hear another reason why it's so important that you sit down with a retirement planning specialist. Did you know you can just talk to these guys on the phone? You can sit down with them in person for free, no obligation if appropriate. Why not take advantage of that? Just call the number on the screen, connect with your retirement planning specialists. Okay, it's time to turn the page a little bit because we have another treat for you from my dog, Charlie. All right, I don't know about you, but my dog Charlie is a huge fan of The Sopranos. And over the past few weeks, actually maybe a month and a half ago or so, James Gandolfini passed away. I'm not 100% certain that I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Charlie could tell me. Anyway, we have a terrific article for you that Charlie pulled up for me to talk about James Gandolfini and the estate that he left and all the problems. But before we do that, Charlie also has a little clip for you. Let's go ahead and run it, guys.
This shit I'm telling you, it'll all blow over.
Didn't you admit to Dr. Cusimano that you were feeling depressed?
Melfi. What part of the boot you from, hun?
Dr. Melfi.
So, did you get any golf in down in Boca, Uncle June?
Fucking manners, please.
So you play Manatee or what's the name of the other one?
Will you let the man tee you off? You yap worse than 6 barbers.
How's Junior? He's gonna be all right. Tell him he's in our prayers, etc.
I'll be sure and let him know.
One other thing, though. John said he went to a cookout at your house.
Yeah.
Don doesn't wear shorts.
All right, come on. Elevator's here. I can't watch this again.
It's a DVD. This is the advanced bootleg.
These are the alternate takes, Don. What, are you gonna call Coppola with ideas on how to fix it?
Don't thank him yet. There's an eyeball witness.
What are you talking about? Gee. Did you see anybody? Did you see another living soul?
No. Don't worry. No, me a bump on the road.
Oh, you're beautiful.
But we do share some cultural ideas. Religious, culinary, matriarchal. Maybe we can motivate you to testify.
Well, why don't you get the kumquats out of your mouth and get to the fucking point, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Sounds like a good guy to golf with, huh? Alrighty, here we go. James Gandolfini's $30 million estate tax mistake. In The Sopranos, the IRS didn't stand a chance against mafia boss Tony Soprano, but thanks to poor planning, the IRS will be the biggest beneficiary of actor James Gandolfini's estate. This guy died with an estimated net worth of about $70 million. And you know what he did, he gave some of it to charity, but then listen to this, in his will, he gave 30% to a sister, 30% to another sister, 20% to his wife, and 20% to his daughter. Meanwhile, he's got a son who was a recipient of an enormous life insurance policy. So here's what we need to know about this. Charlie says, right, my dog Charlie will tell you, where did he mess up? Number one, just by leaving assets straight out to his wife, his sisters, his daughter, enormous estate taxes. Instead of leaving them $70 million, he's going to leave them closer to 40 because $30 million of it is going to go to the IRS in estate taxes. Charlie says, though, Tony Soprano, you did a great job buying life insurance for your son because that went to the son 100% tax-free. That was a good job. So, Tony, you did some good stuff, you did some bad stuff. Bada bing, you're gone. The IRS collected. Not what you wanted, but that's what happens when you're not planning. And folks, that's our treat from my dog Charlie. All right, as we wrap up the show this week, we need to get back to our trivia question and give you the answer. Remember, from Medicare.gov, if you reach age 65, what are the odds that you will need to stay in a nursing home at some point? Not any other type of long-term care, just a nursing home. 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%. The answer is B as in boy, 40%. The odds are high. Plan appropriately. Have a great week, folks.